Caitlin Clark got a little get back at Kelsey Plum.
She was taking a shot, could not help but to drag Caitlin Clark through the glass as she did.
0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
WNBA is on a hot streak. They're finally turning a corner.
Kelsey Plum.
Why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose?
Kelsey Plum took a shot, not on the court, but in front of every microphone, every reporter, and every fan watching the WNBA All-Star Game. She didn't say Caitlin Clark's name. She didn't have to. 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that one line. Lit a fire. The internet exploded. Fans took sides. And what should have been a weekend of unity turned into the most talked about drama in women's basketball. But here's where it gets wild. Caitlin Clark didn't say a word. No press conference. No interview. No angry tweet. Instead, she waited and then dropped just 6 words in a comment on Plum's own Instagram post. "Thank you for the Nike ad." That was it. A perfectly calm, perfectly placed dagger. And suddenly, Kelsey Plum was the one trending for all the wrong reasons, because while some are still trying to tear Caitlin down, the truth is clear. She doesn't need to clap back. She is the clap back, and this was just the beginning. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was supposed to be a celebration, a showcase of talent, a moment for the league to shine. But instead, it became the stage for a silent protest and the spark that ignited one of the most uncomfortable storylines of the season. As players warmed up for the big game, nearly every athlete walked out wearing bold black and white shirts. The message, clear and defiant: "Pay us what you owe us." It wasn't just fashion. It was a statement about equity, respect, and the decades-long fight for fair pay in women's sports. On the surface, it looked like a united front, one team, one message, one cause. But behind the scenes, the vibe wasn't nearly as united as it seemed, because when reporters asked Kelsey Plum about the movement during the post-game press conference, she took it a step further. She leaned into the mic and said, half joking but fully pointed, 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. It wasn't just a side comment. It was a calculated jab, and anyone paying attention could feel it. The subtext was loud. Clark didn't show up. Clark didn't support. Clark isn't one of us. Except that wasn't the full story. Caitlin Clark hadn't suited up for the All-Star Game. She'd been ruled out days earlier due to injury and spent the weekend resting at home. So, naturally, she wasn't at the early morning meeting where the shirts were finalized. She wasn't in the room, but that didn't mean she didn't support the message. She just wasn't physically there. Still, that didn't stop the narrative from spiraling. Because once Plum dropped that line, it wasn't about shirts anymore. It was about sides, it was about power, and it was about Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Plum knew exactly what she was doing. The words might have sounded casual, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But the delivery? It was sharp, intentional, and everyone in the room felt the temperature drop. Even Sabrina Ionescu, sitting right next to Plum at the podium, looked stunned. Her smile disappeared, her body language stiffened. She didn't co-sign it. She didn't laugh. She just froze, caught in real time as one of the league's biggest stars made a very public misstep. And in that moment, the focus shifted. What started as a collective push for better pay instantly turned into a spotlight on Caitlin Clark. Again, except this time, it wasn't about her stats, her shooting, or her record-breaking rookie year. It was about her absence, and Kelsey Plum made sure everyone noticed. But here's where it backfired, because fans weren't buying it. Within minutes, social media was ablaze, calling out Plum for stirring division, for punching down, and for dragging the one player who's actually moving the needle for the entire league. And the irony? Caitlin Clark didn't even attend the meeting because she wasn't playing in the game. She wasn't suiting up, she wasn't on the roster, and she was already ruled out due to injury. This wasn't a case of skipping out, it was a case of not being scheduled to be there in the first place. But none of that mattered, because by the time the headlines hit, the narrative had already taken off. Kelsey Plum versus Caitlin Clark, old guard versus new star, and the All-Star Game had officially turned into a battlefield. Let's be honest, this year's WNBA All-Star Game, it felt less like a celebration and more like a warning sign. On paper, it had everything: Team USA versus Team WNBA, a sold-out crowd, the best talent in the league under one roof, but something was off. Caitlin Clark wasn't playing. Angel Reese, after weeks of social media buzz, barely made an impact on the court. And instead of uniting around the moment, players were making quiet jabs, wearing protest shirts, and sending signals that not everyone was happy behind the scenes. The message was supposed to be about pay equity, about valuing the women who've built this league, about standing together. But what the world saw instead was division, silence, and stars subtly taking aim at each other in front of the cameras. The energy was strange. Kelsey Plum's comments, Sabrina Ionescu's awkward reactions, veterans avoiding Clark. Even the media coverage seemed confused and unsure whether to focus on the game or the growing tension behind it. And fans noticed, because this was supposed to be the league's biggest stage. A moment to show the world that the WNBA was unified, exciting, and ready to level up. Instead, it felt like a league at war with itself. And the sad truth? That tension is starting to overshadow the talent, because the game wasn't bad. The players were phenomenal, but no one was talking about the actual basketball. They were talking about who wasn't there, who threw shade, and what it means for the future of a league caught between legacy and evolution. Here's the part that's got everyone talking. Caitlin Clark didn't say a word. No response to Kelsey Plum's jab, and that silence, it wasn't weakness. It was strategy, because Caitlin Clark understands something that many players and even league officials are still struggling to grasp. She's not just an athlete anymore. She's a brand, a movement, a lightning rod for everything right and wrong with the WNBA right now. Every word she says gets amplified. Every gesture, every comment, every reaction dissected in real time by millions. So when Kelsey Plum took that shot, Clark did nothing, and in doing nothing, she won the moment, because while the media was busy speculating about drama, Clark kept her focus on basketball. She showed up at the All-Star Game. She smiled. She supported. She stayed above it. And fans noticed. They saw a rookie being tested again. They saw a league vet try to knock her down again. And they saw Clark refuse to take the bait again. That kind of poise, it's rare. And it's powerful, because the WNBA doesn't just need great players right now. It needs stars who can handle the spotlight, who can lead with maturity, who can grow the game and rise above the noise. And whether you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark just keeps proving she's built for all of it. But not everyone is cheering for Caitlin Clark's rise. Behind the scenes, a quiet tension is growing among the veterans in the league. Some say she hasn't paid her dues, that she's getting special treatment, that her spotlight is overshadowing players who've been grinding for years. You hear the whispers in locker rooms, the eye rolls during interviews, the subtle digs thrown in passing. It's not just casual frustration, it's real jealousy, because Clark's rapid success has shaken up the established order. She's fresh, young, and instantly becoming the face of the league, and that unsettles those who've been fighting for recognition in the shadows. But here's the truth that no one can deny. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this spotlight. She earned it on the court, every game. She didn't beg for endorsements or media attention. She worked hard, performed, and the fans responded. She faced challenges, took hits, and carried pressure most rookies wouldn't survive. While veterans grumble about respect and fairness, Clark keeps her head down and leads by example. She's respectful to teammates, gracious to opponents, and focused on improving her game. It's not bitterness driving her, it's maturity. And maybe, just maybe, that's what's fueling the backlash. Because when someone rises that fast, it forces everyone else to ask, are we ready for this new era? Or are we holding on to the past? The truth is, Caitlin Clark is changing the WNBA. Whether everyone likes it or not, she's pushing the league forward, and the veterans, they're watching a new star rewrite the rules, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with envy. Caitlin Clark's influence stretches far beyond her incredible play on the court. She's no longer just a rising basketball star, she's a full-blown brand powerhouse. From the moment she entered the WNBA, endorsements started flooding in. We're talking multi-million-dollar deals. Major companies like Nike are lining up to feature her in campaigns that reach millions globally. Her social media presence is off the charts, followers grow by the thousands every day. Every post she makes sends waves through the basketball world. Her jerseys fly off the shelves faster than anyone else's in the league. This kind of star power is a game changer for the WNBA. Sponsors see her as a once-in-a-generation talent who brings energy, excitement, and attention. Advertisers want their products associated with her name. Networks are scheduling more games around her appearances, and fans? They're showing up in record numbers online and in arenas because of her dot. But with this incredible rise comes its own challenges. Some veterans and insiders aren't thrilled about how quickly Caitlin has become the face of the league. The wearing the spotlight is too bright, too fast. Some see it as overshadowing the years of hard work that others have put in. Yet, Caitlin Clark isn't chasing fame or fortune just for herself. She's about what this means for the future of women's basketball. Her brand represents hope that the league can grow bigger, stronger, and more visible than ever before. She's proving that talent combined with personality can change the game, that women's basketball can be must-watch entertainment, and that the sport deserves the recognition it's finally getting. In many ways, Caitlin Clark is more than a player, she's a symbol of progress, and that's why she's both celebrated by fans and watched closely by critics, because when you're changing the game this fast, you're bound to ruffle some feathers. But make no mistake, Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the story of the WNBA itself. After all the drama, all the shade thrown her way, Caitlin Clark did something totally unexpected. She stayed silent. No fiery tweets, no heated interviews, no public back and forth, just silence. And that silence? It spoke volumes, because while others were busy trading digs and stirring drama, Caitlin chose a different path, one of quiet confidence and calculated moves. Days after Kelsey Plum's jab went viral, instead of firing back, Caitlin made a strategic appearance that sent an even stronger message. She showed up in a major Nike campaign, stepping onto a global stage where millions could see her not just as a basketball player, but as an icon in the making. It was a reminder. She's not just here to play the game, she's here to change it. But the real masterstroke came in the most subtle way imaginable. Caitlin jumped into the comments section under one of Kelsey Plum's Instagram posts and simply wrote, "Thank you for the Nike ad." Just that one line, no insults, no drama, no petty name calling. Yet that simple comment was like a dagger wrapped in silk, calm, classy, and devastatingly effective. While Kelsey was trying to drag Caitlin down, Caitlin was flipping the entire script, turning a potential moment of weakness into a public victory. The reaction was instant. Fans loved the subtle flex. The media quickly picked up on it. Social platforms exploded with support for Clark's poised response. That quiet moment showed the real power of silence, because true strength isn't about shouting louder than everyone else. It's about rising above the noise, staying focused, and letting your actions do the talking. And Caitlin Clark? She's proving every day that she's mastered that art, quietly owning the spotlight without ever needing to yell for attention.